Good morning, everyone. That time again. We are continuing our Pokemon SoulSilver Nuzlocke, and we are at the Elite Four refight. I am super excited about this because this is something that I took a lot of time to try and maximize my team on. The back half of this Nuzlocke, I have been doing a lot of planning and calculations to make sure that I was on the right page with everything. And I feel like we're in pretty good shape with this team against the Elite Four. So, we are starting out against Will, the Psychic type. And oddly enough, my starting Pokemon here is Hitmonlee. Oh, I should make sure that I don't have any other items equipped. Tyranitar, we want to make sure we've got the Choice Scarf here. And Dugong is going to be holding Leftovers. These are going to probably be the most common pieces of equipment. Wait, Choice Scarf. Okay. I saw the Silk Scarf in my inventory and I panicked a moment. Most of these fights, what I'm going to be doing is taking a look ahead of the... I think that's just a Focus Sash, which honestly isn't a bad thing to have as a backup. So yes, we're starting off against Will. And the big thing here is we're starting with Baldarin. The only other ones I'm planning on using for this fight are Boone and Tessara. We still have these other Pokemon available if we need them. And I love the fact that our lead against the Psychic Trainer is our Fighting type. So just to go over the team real quick before we get started. Baldarin, our Hitmonlee. Starting off, we've got Close Combat. I did use one of my PP ups on this just to make sure we had it, because I think the plan, if I'm remembering correctly, is to Close Combat sweep through a lot of Karen's Pokemon. I might be misremembering. I'm misremembering. But Hitmonlee has a chance of at least taking out 4 of Karen's Pokemon, and I wanted to make sure I had some PP left. Earthquake is always good. Rock Slide, we used the TM from Brock to teach Rock Slide. Blaze Kick would have been similar in effectiveness, but it's lower accuracy and it has less niche usage. Blaze Kick would have only been good against the bug types. Rock Slide is good against bug and flying. So it gives us a little bit better coverage with things like, Lance's Dragons, if we end up needing it. Oh, I will also just briefly say, one of the big things with Close Combat that I'm nervous about is it does lower your attack or defense and special defense, which is potentially problematic, especially against Karen. The big thing there is there's a lot of Karen's Pokemon that have things like Ice Shard or what's the other move? Sucker Punch. So we do need to be careful with Baldarin's health in that fight. We've still got Tyranitar here. Got Boone. Crunch is going to demolish Will. We've got Rock Slide when we need it for coverage. Earthquake, we already talked about. Oh, I guess I should also mention, every Pokemon on my team has Protect. There are two reasons for this. One is to be able to stall out things like the reflect of an opposing Pokemon. The other thing is almost all of my Pokemon at some point are going to be holding leftovers, and I want to be able to heal that way. We can also potentially stall if we're ahead on health with Sandstorm. But yeah, Tyranitar, the biggest thing here, and Tyranitar is one of the big game changers from the first time through the Elite Four. Tyranitar can switch into pretty much all of Will's Pokemon because their primary thing that they have going for us, or for them, is Psychic. The move Psychic. So, yeah. Tessara, the Dragon Slayer, returns. Pretty much the same as last time. I got rid of Aqua Jet in exchange for Protect. But they are pretty much in the same spot. Relatively bulky, pretty powerful. Ice Beam is a good move. Surf is a good move. Ice Shard gives us priority. Protect protects. NBZ. Waterfall. Ice Fang. This is actually almost exactly the same set. I don't actually need Dragon Dance for anything specifically, but I have it if I need it. Terra. Shadow Ball is mostly going to just be used as a neutral stab move. Psychic is the big one. And this was not what I was expecting. Alakazam is awesome. Alakazam is immediately killed by anything that touches it. And I was a little bit worried about things with like quick attack. The big thing for Gengar is that it counters almost all of Bruno's Pokemon perfectly. Levitate gets rid of Earthquake, and it gets rid of all fighting and normal type moves. So there's like a couple moves that actually even hit it, let alone hit it hard. The one exception is Lucario, but we'll get to that. Finally, Magnezone. Magnezone, Stormy, has been one of our MVPs throughout a lot of this run. Thunderbolt, use the TM for Flash Cannon because we had it and it's better than Mirror Shot. Thunder Wave, pretty much just to make one of the fights slightly easier. And Protect. Stormy is going to be really important for a few fights because of their typing as well. Steel type is broken in this game. So that's our team. I think for the sake of safety, we are going to still give items out to the rest of the team. I don't think we actually have anything really solid here. Are there any things that might one-shot here? Yes. No. I genuinely don't know what to give here, unfortunately. Sure. Let's go there. Specs? Sure. I'm not even expecting to need them, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Let's go. Oh, just to mention it, level cap for all of the Elite Four is 64 this time. And then we'll get to the champion, which is 75. So Bronzong would normally be a problem. However, this Bronzong is heat-proof, not levitate. So we're starting this off with an Earthquake. We should take about 50% damage if they use Psychic in return. I'm kind of expecting them to use Reflect here, however. Did my math deceive me? I mean, I'm not going to complain about doing better than I expected. Okay. Well, that takes a lot of things out of my... a lot of problems out of my way. Okay. So the big thing from here is... Grumpig is going to use Psychic. Which means nothing happens. That's annoying. I'm gonna be honest. Didn't see that coming. What am I expecting out of them? I mean, it's gotta be Signal Beam, right? This is why we have backups. When in doubt, Thunder Wave is a good way to just negate, or at least have a chance at negating a move. Because Grumpig is probably going to use Confused Ray Gun here. And we're going to try and get Boone back in. And hope that Paralysis prevents it. And now we should definitely outspeed and one-hit kill. Tyranitar should be able to pretty much sweep everybody except Jinx. I literally haven't, like, an entire 6-line thing about what to do if Bronzong uses Reflect. So, yeah, I'm pretty... outspeeds and one-shots here. If this does not one-shot, this is one of those spots where if my math was off, we could be in trouble, because Gardevoir has Focus Blast, but I'm pretty sure Tyranitar should be able to just knock out a good chunk of the rest of these Pokemon. Okay, Jinx. Oh. Tyranitar can't switch into Jinx, but can still one-shot Jinx. I had contingencies in place in case we needed to deal with that, but that's okay. Xatu. Xatu does not have any attacking moves that I'm worried about. Just Confused Ray. And we should outspeed. This may come as a shock, but Tyranitar's a good Pokemon. Okay, Slowbro. So the big thing here is Slowbro doesn't actually know any water moves, which would have been the scary thing. It's actually a physical body slam curse. Slowbro. Sandstorm rages. I'm guessing Will is gonna full restore here. So I will just crunch again. And we're probably just gonna have to crunch through several turns where, depending on the, yeah, I was just gonna say, depending on the roll and the sandstorm damage. Unfortunately, they're probably gonna full restore again. Please stop wasting my resources. I'm gonna have to use an ether at this rate. I will continue battling until I stand above all trainers. Okay, good. It doesn't throw you right into the fight. I was just about to say. I think I've got to do some switching on items. The original plan, the reason Tassara had leftovers, was they were going to be able to tank through Jinx's attacks. But because we already had in Tyranitar and didn't need to switch them in, we were able to get by it. Okay, so we're going to switch out. Boone is going to take the leftovers here. Gengar has choice specs. And we've got our muscle band. Let's go ahead and put the scarf on Stormy, just as a backup again. Depending on where we're at, Stormy can literally switch in against any poison type attack. And we'll go ahead and give Tassara the Quick Claw. So, leading with Hitmonlee again. And I do want to double check. This is mostly just for me. Okay. Pretty much all of the attacks that I used that time were crunch. We've still got 7 left. I'll save the ether. I don't think we're going to be using it, so. Okay, so we start against Skuntank. This is one of my least favorite Pokemon in the game. It's very tanky. It has a really obnoxious type to fight against. However, it is weak to Earthquake. A lot of my calculations on this were, how do I take out Skuntank safely? And this should do it. The other thing is, Skuntank has the Aftermath ability, which means if you use a direct damage move, you could end up having problems. Koga should switch here into Venomoth or Crobat. I'm assuming a fly here. They're gonna have to come down and fly. They're faster. We intentionally made Tyranitar slower here so that we could switch in on the first turn of fly and then Rock Slide on the second. We had the leftovers there in case we missed. Rock Slide is only a 90% chance to hit. So if we had missed there, we would have had to take multiple hits potentially. And we had the leftovers as a backup. Okay, Toxicroak is the switch in, which is what we were assuming. And that means that we can now switch into Terra. Toxicroak should use Cross Chop here. It's a 4 times effective move against Tyranitar, but it doesn't affect Terra. And I think that should be all of it. From here, we just spam Psychic with Gengar. Because the only one they couldn't take out was... Actually, no, it was 2. They couldn't take out Crobat or Hitmonlee. We had or Skuntank. We had to do those first. So the only other Pokemon that is not gonna get one shot here is Muck. We have a chance to, but it's a roll of the dice. However, this Muck does not have a single attacking move. It is probably either going... So it has Minimize, which is just annoying but not harmful. Screech, which is not actually a problem at this point. Swagger, which confuses, is the biggest problem. However, we're not actually going to run into that until after this first turn. So we can use Psychic, see where we end up. They use Screech, that's fine. Because they don't actually have any moves that do physical damage anyway. It's gonna Black Sludge, and I'm guessing that they are now going to use a full restore. We once again have a chance to one-hit KO, especially after sandstorm damage. And now we just got a special defense drop, so it doesn't matter. We get it either way. The next hit will be lethal even after a full restore, because of the special defense drop. And that's 2 down. Probably could have just used hypers on both here, but whatever. We're only going to need them a little bit longer. Okay, we're gonna go with these base ethers, I think, because I need to make sure that we've got enough PP on psychic. Choice specs. And so this is... Oh, crap. Just a second. I'm not sure. Magnet pull does not affect allies. Okay. I think we're good then. I just had a moment of panic. I'm still honestly a little nervous now because I had not considered Magnet Pull. We're going to be fighting a Lucario here. And this is going to be... This is going to be really dangerous if this doesn't work the way I think it does. But I think we're taking the risk. Because I don't have another good plan and we're already here. So, against Bruno. This is hopefully the easiest one. We'll see what happens against Lucario, because now I'm nervous. Gengar literally sweeps this entire team, except Lucario. So what we're gonna do is try. We'll see if Lucario's the last Pokemon, because that is also gonna be a factor. Lucario has one move that hits pretty hard, and it has a chance to kill Gengar. And Gengar can't one-shot Lucario by a long shot. Okay. So they should use Iron Tail here. We're gonna switch into Stormy. Stormy's the only one on our team who can take this hit well. Lucario should use Close Combat here. Doesn't affect Terra. We are going to stall Lucario out of the move Close Combat. So, Close Combat only has 5 PP. Lucario should use Close Combat as its best move every time Stormy is on the field. However, against Gengar, it can't use Close Combat because it doesn't do anything. So it will never queue up Close Combat into Gengar. This allows us to safely switch back and forth here. I probably should have been counting instead of just talking, shouldn't I? Oh well. I think we're good. I'm gonna stall one more time with Protect, just to be safe. Yep, so now they are using Counter instead of Close Combat. Counter only works if you use a physical move against them. This is one of those strategies that I've seen used in really good Nuzlockes, and I've never had the opportunity to use. And honestly, seeing the opportunity felt really good. The defense drop is a potential problem, but we can mow through it because we only need to take one. And if we kept switching, or if we need to, we could switch. Or Protect, rather. Okay. Now we're on to Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee should use Close Combat. Which lets us switch Terra back in. And I believe the last one here is Machamp? Hitmonchan. This Hitmonchan is actually a lot weaker into Terra than the other previous ones had been. So, not even worried. I am really glad that that plan worked. I had that brief moment of nerves there, and I'm really glad it worked out. Okay. Stormy actually still needs leftovers here. Terra is not going to get used in this because half the things on the field have Sucker Punch. There's what we're looking for. I think here we do Muscle Band. Well, Darren is going to take the Choice Scarf. I just noticed some magic words here, so we're going to give Quick Claw. I'm actually going to give Terra the Focus Sash here. If I do need to switch in, this could be a way to get a KO without getting one shot by Sucker Punch. That means that we can give NBZ and Sassara. Not expecting to use them. Want to have them equipped with something good just in case. Okay. So this is the scariest fight by a pretty large margin. There are two Pokemon in particular that I'm worried about. Mostly so this first turn could be really scary. Awesome. They did not use Ice Shard. That is what we needed. We are hoping that they're going to switch into either Absol or Houndoom next. Honestly, I could also deal with Umbreon. Actually, Umbreon next would be good. Honchkrow, not what we're looking for. Although that does let us switch out safely. Which also resets that defense drop that we just did. Jopex should do almost nothing. Boone uses Rock Slide here. This should one-shot kill. Again, the concern there was only Sucker Punch. And not that Sucker Punch would actually kill, just that it would hurt. And that adds up after, or over the course of a fight. Okay, Absol. What is Absol gonna use here? Absol is going to use, because this is one of those, I was thinking, or I wasn't thinking about getting Hitmonlee back in. Okay, so I think what we need to do, Absol should use, it's not going to use Psycho Cut. It might use Perish Song? I think we're okay to switch into Beldarin here. It might use Night Slash Detect. It's either going to use Night Slash Detect or Perish Song. All of those are okay. Not ideal, but okay. It just means we've got 3 turns to switch out. So the next thing we want to come in, again, would be Umbreon. Just to finish it off. Spiritomb. So Spiritomb doesn't have any attacking moves. Except Sucker Punch. So we don't want to use any attacking moves against it. What we're gonna do is switch in here. I don't love it. So we're gonna use Curse. Cut its own HP to lay a curse on Spiritomb. And I think we're still okay. After a turn, I'm not 100% sure on this. What do I think they're gonna do? Oh, they're gonna full restore. Okay. That does not get rid of the curse though. Or the sandstorm damage. So I think we just T-bolt here. This should finish it off after curse damage. Before curse damage, never mind. Okay. We don't take sandstorm damage, that's why I switched them in. Houndoom, that baits Houndoom. Okay, this is probably the scariest one. but I think we'll be okay. They're probably going to use Flamethrower here, which is going to do about 10% damage. The magic words that I saw earlier when I was looking at my my sheet was does not outspeed. So we're gonna, this says one hit KO with Rock Slide. I don't think they one hit KO with Earthquake. We did not get the Quick Claw. That's a problem. We're still okay so far. That's a problem. If this doesn't hit, we're in trouble. We're not in trouble. This should kill. So all we need to do is figure out a good switch into Umbreon. Umbreon doesn't actually have any really good moves into Boon. So I think we hope they don't curse. I'm going to assume a Confuse Ray here. Umbreon is very bulky. They're +1 defense now. I can't actually reliably... I did not do the math on Curse, because I didn't think I'd have to take a turn to switch in. Do they actually have any moves that are scary right now? I don't think so. I forgot about the Citrus Berry. Oh boy. Okay. I'm switching to Stormy because in this game, Steel still resists Dark. Stormy doesn't take damage from the Sandstorm. And the Umbreon has been buffing physical defense, not special. I have not done the math on this. I'm assuming it might be a 2-hit KO. We got a paralysis as well. Synchronize means that we're paralyzed as well. That's very annoying. God, this is terrifying. Did they already use their full restores? I don't think so. So this is going to be a full restore turn. They've used their held citrus berry, but not the full restore. Now, the biggest problem here is actually the paralysis. We still have a chance of failing to hit. How are they faster at -6 speed? Even with that, hurt itself in confusion. That's what I was afraid of. If it keeps using Curse, we might be okay as long as it doesn't actually attack. Like, at this point it's at like +4 attack. That should be able to do enough damage to be a threat with, okay. That was not my plan, but we got there. Champion is waiting. Lance 2.0. That was definitely scary. Okay. So, I'm gonna pause real quick here while we heal up and level up before the fight against Lance. Okay, we're ready to go. Tassara. Starting with this Choice Scarf. Magnezone has the Quick Claw. Tyranitar has Leftovers again. MBZ has Never Melt Ice. This is really important to be able to one-hit KO with Ice Fang. Muscle Band on Meldarin. Focus Sash on Terra. Hopefully we don't need to use Terra in this situation. Especially considering that we also have a Sandstorm that will probably be going by that point. But this is the last fight before Red, so let's go all out. Tassara the Dragon Slayer. Let's do this. If you're not familiar with that reference, Tassara was was also the name of my Alolan Ninetales during my Pokemon Reborn run, which obviously with both Fairy and Ice type just wrecked the field. So, Ice Beam. With the Choice Scarf on, we should outspeed, and we're doing 4 times damage to Salamence. Salamence is a beast, but it's still 4 times weak to Ice. As are several of Lance's Pokemon, which again is why Dugong is a monster here. So it all comes down to who they switch in. Gyarados. Okay. So I think in this situation, unfortunately, they're either probably gonna Dragon Dance or Thunder Wave here. I'm going to hope, oddly enough, for Dragon Dance. Literally, my plan for this was to equip a Cherry Berry here so that the paralysis wouldn't matter. But I don't have a Cherry Berry because this game, for some stupid reason, doesn't give you any berries even though they were a feature in the original version of this game. We can survive after 1 still. This should do about 40% damage. 40 to 50. Man. So if we get paralyzed again, we're dead. God. I was about ready to say, like, literally, a Gyarados with 2 Dragon Dances up might be able to sweep my team. It is that bad. Garchomp. Okay, that makes sense. Garchomp should almost certainly use Earthquake here, as it's 4 times effective. Intimidate as we come in. No damage from Earthquake because we're flying. And because this is happening before we bring Tyranitar out, the Earthquake or the Sandstorm isn't up, which means that we don't have the Sand Veil mischance against Garchomp that we might have had to deal with. This should be a one-shot because of that Never Melt Ice that we have equipped. I'm not even sure who they bring in here. Charizard? Okay. Boone? Boone takes about 10%, less than 10% damage from everything Charizard does. That was a crit. We have leftovers. Dragon Claw is their most powerful. I said under 10 on everything, I lied a little. But still does... Okay, under 15. Dragon Claw does 12 to 15. Everything else has a good chance at doing under 10. The exception is Hyper Beam, which means they're wasting a turn anyway. So we'll take it. This should one-hit kill. Okay, so the only things left at this point should be Altaria and Dragonite. What's he gonna use? Dragonite. Is probably going to use... Yeah. I think we're looking at a Draco Meteor here. I'm trying to think of a good way to switch in safely here. We can take a Draco Meteor, just to be clear. I would just prefer not to. Yeah. That'll work. Ooh, I forgot how damaged Stormy was. You know what? I think this is worth the risk. Stormy should resist Draco Meteor. Draco Meteor only does 50% to Dugong. They use Safeguard, huh? Okay, that still works. So the important part here is Dragonite just use Safeguard. When they see the Magnezone in front of them, they should use Fire Blast, which is the weakest move into Tessara. Should do about 15% damage. Much better than Draco Meteor or Hyper Beam. Dugong with the Choice Scarf outspeeds and is going to be able to kill both Dragonite and Altaria with a 4 times effective Ice Beam. Pokemon have responded to your strong and upstanding nature. As a trainer, you will continue to grow strong. Professor Oak, you're so slow. Your conquest of the League is just fantastic. Your Pokemon were outstanding too. They believed in you. Congratulations. Okay. Take 2 on conquering the Elite Four is complete. This time, deathless. I am really happy with how that went. Honestly, one of the things I was starting to get a little nervous about was that this was going to be too scripted. Because I had done all the math ahead of time, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I could see it being very frustrating or not as enjoyable. But we ran into some things that I wasn't expecting and had to calculate the switch-ins, had to do the math like on the fly a little bit more and make some calls like switching Magnezone in at the end there and take some risks. And especially those last 2 fights definitely were, you know, had some risky points to them where we could have just lost it all. Or at least lost one of our Pokemon. This is... That was honestly going to be the most challenging point in the game. I know we've still got Red coming up. I am actually going to cut away here. And we're going to tack this on, the Red fight on at the end. Because we don't actually... The Red fight's not going to be as challenging as it is supposed to be, because I found a loophole. So, stay tuned. And we will be right back with the fight against Red. Okay, I believe it's time. I would show off our team, but you're gonna get to see the whole plan pretty quick. So, Red, the original trainer from Red Blue, your player character, starts off with a level 88 Pikachu. For the sake of balance, I decided to level cap this at 84 instead, because the rest of his Pokemon are lower level and Pikachu is unevolved. We lead with Boon to get rid of the Hail. This changes Hail into Sandstorm, which helps us. We switch over to Big Fella. Big Fella is a Pokemon we have not used yet. And quite frankly, cannot touch Big Fella. Which means Big Fella will lower his speed. And raise attack and defense using Curse. Big Fella's physical defense is currently sitting at something like 400 before we start doing these buffs. Defense drops are the least important thing here. The goal is going to be to get to +6 attack. Because once we get going, we're not going to get hit. The defense boosts just help us survive through the Pikachu. There's a very low chance that if we get crit a bunch of times, it could be a problem. Rock Polish. +2 speed. I hope by now everyone can see where this is going. Six curses brings us to +6 attack, plus, I guess, with the defense drops, what is that, 4? Defense, and -6 speed. Using Rock Polish, we're going to be able to get ourselves back up from -6 speed to +6 speed. I'm guessing that after or at some point here, Red may burn a full restore on Pikachu, but I don't know that for sure. Looks like no. Okay. We did take another couple defense drops there. Not a big deal. Stats should be where we need them to be. So. Dig. Steelix doesn't learn Earthquake, unfortunately, so we get to do this the fun way. Probably should have actually written down which moves to use on which Pokemon, but I think we should just be good here to sweep with return. I should probably actually do my math. No pressure! No, genuinely, I'm pretty sure that I originally did the math with Dig on everything except Charizard. So that's probably what I should stick with. Oh, didn't end up needing the cherry berry I farmed either, I just realized. We had that equipped just in case we hit the static on Pikachu, triggered the static on Pikachu when we hit it. When I started coming up with strategies for fighting Red, I was sitting there like, okay, we've got, like, if we can bait, you know, their super moves, the Frenzy Plant and Blast Burn and Hydro Cannon, we can totally, you know, bait them into using those moves and use Protect canceling back and forth to negate the moves every other turn, like the way you fight Slacking in Norman's gym. And I had this note sitting at the top of my stuff that was just Steelix resists all of Pikachu's moves. And I was like, I just had it sitting there, and at some point I was just like, wait, can we just do this? So that is the supposedly hardest fight in the game. With 2 Pokemon, one of which we didn't actually use. We just set Sandstorm. set up and sweet. So, I had a lot of fun with this run. There are parts of it that I wish were a little more challenging, but I really love getting into this technical back end of it. Doing the calculations, figuring out I mean, I've always liked team planning. The further down the rabbit hole I've gone with Pokemon, the more it's like, okay, you know, what can we do with these, with your EVs, your IVs, your very specific things, which I didn't really go into the number side as much during this because it doesn't display the numbers. But I was checking my IVs on every Pokemon as I got it, just so that I had those for the calculations. Our Dragonite had like less than 10 on every IV, which was really impressive to me. I think it had 2 12s, and the rest were 8 or lower. Yeah, like, I don't know. We still made some mistakes. There were still spots we had to improvise, which I love. I don't want it to just be, I magically win every fight because I did the math. But having that nice balance where, like, especially, I really liked the way that the Karen fight went, in particular. And the Lance fight in a similar way. We had to make difficult decisions in the moment, but it was also this very, like, we had a plan. I knew what I needed to do and what I could risk and what those risks would be. And I like games where you can do that, where you're working with, I won't say perfect information, but information where you have a pretty good idea of where those random numbers are going to fall or could fall. I really started feeling like I was getting a hang of the AI by the end, which was pretty awesome. And I feel like I found some fun strategies for some of these as well. And so that is the end. The Kanto region actually went a lot faster than I was expecting, to be honest, which shouldn't be a surprise considering how fast I was counting on, like, oh, well, if I get one for each gym, one video for each gym, that'll be good. And then it was like, no, we're doing 6 gyms and 2 videos. That's pretty much all of the post-game content that we have. The rest of it is just catching things. And that's not really in the spirit of the Nuzlocke at this point, nor is it really a challenge. So, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this game up, which, I'm really curious to see what people think when we get to this. I want to know how you thought this run went. Because I am really torn on Nuzlocke content in general. I had a lot of fun with my Reborn run. And we had a lot of good interaction with the community. Getting people to sign up for this one was like pulling teeth. But we're still getting a lot of views. I mean, I'll be fair and say Reborn, it took, 50, 60 videos before I started getting volunteers. Or before I got an extensive number of volunteers. Whereas this one, we didn't have that build time. So, genuinely, I would love to know, did you like the Nuzlocke? Or did you prefer, if you've watched both, the Reborn run where we were just doing the difficult the difficult run. I've considered trying to do something of a hybrid, like negating the permadeath rules for a Nuzlocke if I do a challenge ROM hack. Like, Nuzlocke and ROM hack feels like I'm not going to have fun. But if I did something like still catch only one Pokemon on each route and then build a team from that, and I was thinking kind of like Fire Emblem rules, where you only have, like, if something dies during a fight and you keep going, it's dead, but you can revert back to the save and try again. I don't know how that will go, and I know that there's a lot of people just get really upset about Nuzlocke rules. So that's kind of where I'm thinking is challenge ROM hack with, I guess, one Pokemon per route and Fire Emblem rules going forward. I don't know if I'm going to jump right into another Pokemon run, but I am having a lot of fun with these Pokemon runs. So I will definitely be doing another one next year. Which I think I'm currently leaning towards doing Unbound first. Well, I think with all of that, it's time for the sign off. Hopefully you enjoyed this run. If you did and you've got time to burn, check out the Pokemon Reborn run that we did before this. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. If you made it all the way to the end of this, clearly you've enjoyed this content, and we're a small enough channel that the like and subscribe really does matter. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I do try to answer or react to most questions that get posted, even on older videos. And as always, have a good one. We'll catch you next time.